Let's get more on our top story now. The talks on Syria, which have been taking place in Munich. And like we mentioned, world leaders have agreed to a cessation of hostilities. Let's go now to Nader Hashemi. He's an associate professor at the University of Denver, joining us live from Denver, Colorado. Mr. Hashemi, always good to have you with us on Al-Jazeera. So what did you make of what came out of today's meeting, the measures that were announced?
I think it's more of the same Russian duplicity, double talk, chicanery, basically meant to allow Russia to secure its recent battlefield gains, only to wait for an opportune moment to advance its interests in Syria. So this is not a breakthrough. This is exactly what Vladimir Putin has been doing in the Ukraine, sending his foreign minister Lavrov to international meetings to proclaim a ceasefire, a cessation of hostilities, while behind the scenes, Russia continues to subvert its stated position. So there's nothing here to celebrate.
Well, and meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of Syrians are in desperate need of humanitarian aid, which is one of the measures that was announced today, the acceleration, the expansion of the delivery of aid. Do we have any reason to be hopeful that this might at least happen, even if the cessation of hostilities doesn't take place?
No, we don't, because this humanitarian crisis that is unfolding before the eyes of the world is a direct result of Russia's stepped-up bombardment of rebel positions in and around Aleppo. And in the announcement that was just made in Munich today, there was no commitment from Russia to stop its bombardment, which has produced this recent humanitarian tragedy. So this just highlights the farce, the complete sort of disaster that Syria has become, largely because no one in the international community is willing to stand up to Vladimir Putin and Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader. And until someone does, I think we're going to be going through this exercise many times more, and it'll be an open question how many Syrians will be alive at the end of the process.
But Russia did say today, and so did the United States, that all parties are going to take part in the cessation of hostilities. Again, they said it's not the same thing as a ceasefire. So you don't think that's going to happen at all?
Well, if Russia was serious, it could announce a firm commitment that itself would stop the bombardment which has produced this recent crisis. They haven't done so. And moreover, there's a backstory here. Russia claimed that it was intervening in Syria because it wanted to bomb ISIS positions. But all the evidence suggests that it's not bombing ISIS positions, it's bombing rebel-held positions in the western part of Syria. So why should we take Russia's word, its commitment, when it has a clear track record just in the conflict of Syria of contradicting its stated claims? So I don't think that there's anything positive. It's interesting to even note that they did not use the word ceasefire. It's cessation of hostilities, which is a much more ambiguous term, which basically means Russia and Assad can do whatever they want, and the international community will have to simply live with it. I think that we are headed toward a greater disaster beyond the tragedy that has characterized Syria for the last 5 years.